Hey, bro. Welcome. It's been growing more and more among the population. You don't know who's coming here. You guys can probably imagine. Look who's already on top of the keyboard. Can't help it, folks. The cat. Anyway, moving on. You know that among the population, the idea, or maybe even the certainty, that the answer is to catch the next flight out has been growing. Many people have been saying this. And it's kind of become a craze, hasn't it? We ourselves have said that a few times here. But I always add a caveat. I never said go to country X or country A or Z. I always say the following. See what you know how to do and look for a place where you can adapt, where what you know how to do is valued. I never picked country A or country B. I'm talking about Paraguay here, for example, because I see that my life today, my expenses, even just by moving there, I would save between 18 to 26%, 27%. I used to work this out myself by crunching the numbers. Look, I consume this here. How much does this cost there? How much do I pay for electricity? Machine maintenance. All those things. When I added it all up, I'd save almost 30%, you see? So, depending on what you use or what you do, a place that's good for me might not be good for you. And a place that's good for you might not be good for me. That's how the world is, my brother. If Silvio Santos himself had come up with a magic formula for getting rich, that's how it is, that's how it is, that's how it is. It worked for him. But maybe if he did it again himself, it wouldn't work. Because the world has changed. Things have changed. The formula that used to seem perfect before isn't anymore. So there's no foolproof formula. Even so, right? A man solves things in a crazy, rushed way. And that's why I believe not everyone is cut out to be the head of a family. That's the truth. And a guy like that, right? A complete idolater. You'll see it in his words. By the way, I want to thank my dear brother, Rogerio Lima, who sent this video to us. Yeah, right? By the way, his topic is the leftists are laughing a lot. Saying that the dream of living in Paraguay is over. And even saying that this is fake news from the left, from the right, right? Saying that Paraguay is good and all that stuff, right? I'm going to play this man's account. And then we're going to analyze some drastic mistakes here, right?
Let's go, my fellow patriots of Brazil. If you dream of coming to Paraguay, don't come. Don't come. I've been living here in Paraguay for 40 days. I've been living in this country for 40 days. I came with 10,000 reais. My money's already gone, guys. And I came, like every Brazilian, with the dream that just like in the United States, you can get a house, get a car, build a better life. And that's not how it turned out for me. You know why? Because I'm poor. Right-wing people who don't have money and come here, it doesn't work. It's the same as in Brazil. This place is only for the rich guys. Don't fall for that nonsense that you're going to come here and everything will be good, that everything will change. It won't. I demand that Brazil's foreign ministry repatriate me because I'm a patriot. I'm Brazilian. I demand that you repatriate me. Flavio Bolsonaro, help me return to our country. I need to vote for you. I came here to work, guys. Look at this. Vacation isn't paid. The salary is around 2.5, but the rent here is 1,200. There are no schools for Brazilian children. You have to pay here. And then the math doesn't add up. You can't even afford to eat. Help me, Flavio Bolsonaro. And also, Brazil's foreign ministry. I will get in touch with you. I need to get a ticket back to Brazil. Hugs to everyone. God, country, family, and freedom.
The guy is so reckless, my brothers. So, contradictory that this almost seems like a meme, right? In fact, there were tons of comments here mocking him, right? People from the left. The guy who posted this is a left-wing profile. And he says, look, Milei will welcome you there in Argentina. 1,000. Almost 1,300 likes. Let Paraguay know that we don't accept returns. A patriot who abandoned the country. Haha. No, keep it down. Speak quietly. There are more people who want to go. Whoa, the math doesn't add up. He forgot that the hospital is free, college is free, free daycare, free pharmacy, free hospital, free food, only in Brazil. Man, seriously. That's the worst part, right? You see leftists with that same dumb mindset thinking there's such a thing as a free lunch. When you talk about, for example, the SUS, my brothers, here, when you buy any medicine in Brazil, we pay 30% in taxes, which is to keep the SUS running. And you don't have the right to say, no, I don't want to contribute. They already take it from you when you buy anything. 30%. So when you go, right, at a polyclinic, in any public hospital, many times they don't have the medication. But when you bought any medicine, you paid 30% in taxes to maintain the SUS. But now you need it. You've spent 20, 30 years working. You never needed it, but you always paid. Ever since you needed an aspirin, some vitamin C, you paid 30% more to maintain the SUS. And when you needed it, there was no medication for you. And how many die waiting in line? Now, imagine that for every person here. So there's no free lunch. But these idiots don't understand. Then someone like that is unstable. If you ask me, right? From the way he talks, you can tell he's asking Itamaraty, right? Which is now in Lula's hands, which is the government. And says he wants them to bring him back. Demands that they bring him back. Demand, right? He was the one who left on his own. He demands that they bring him back. In other words, give him money to come back so that he returns and can't vote for Flavio. So he asks the Lula government for help. That Itamaraty, I repeat, is in Lula's hands, and says loud and clear that people should vote for Flavio. So just like he's crazy to that extent, right? You can imagine how he tried to make it work over there in Paraguay. The guy goes with 10,000 reais. What can you do with 10,000 reais today, family? 10,000 reais can't even buy you an old CG anymore. That's the truth. I went to the beach with my family. To a beach nearby, about 180 kilometers away, 200 kilometers at most. I took 2,000 reais, and what was left, because we saved money, right? What was left was 700 reais. A little over 600 reais was left. It didn't even reach 700. That's for a 200-kilometer trip. I didn't get there rolling in money, no. It was pretty chill. I stayed by the beach, ordered fish, and when I went to pay, it was 300 reais, which is a ripoff, right? What they do at the beach. 300 reais for a little plate of fish, and I don't think there was even 30 reais worth of fish there. They charge 300. A few quail eggs, nothing else. I mean, just a trip nearby here. Now imagine going to a foreign country with your family. The guy probably doesn't know how to do anything. And another thing, right? 40 days. 40 days, he already thinks that's enough, right? For him to have gotten a house, which he couldn't get in Brazil. He even says that himself. I came here thinking I was going to get a house. In other words, he didn't have one here. And he thought that over there in Paraguay, things would change like magic. This is actually my brother's, and I saw a guy post a video about this topic, and I honestly hated it because he put it like this. The urge to have and the boredom of possessing. I keep thinking, what kind of idiot, only Generation Z, would come up with crap like this? What do you mean urge to have and boredom? Man, you only get bored when you buy something for others, when you don't buy what you really want. What you need, you buy to impress, to please, to show off, right? This guy made a video talking about a motorcycle, a 4-cylinder one that he bought, if I'm not mistaken, a ZX6 from Kawasaki. And he said he had a strong desire to have it. But then he rides it and doesn't find it fun. Why? Because he bought it to show off. He's a clown, right? The ones I bought for myself. I ride at dawn super happy because I bought it. Look, this one can do this. And my dream is this. This is what I dream about. Everything I've bought so far, I never regretted any of them. Family, even my wife said, man, what makes me happy when I see you riding your vehicles is that it looks like it's the first day. And I tell you from the heart, family, every day I like it more. It's the opposite. Instead of getting tired of it, right? It's the opposite. Because I didn't buy it to show off. I didn't buy it to prove anything to the world. I bought it because I wanted to buy it. That's what I wanted. I saw the power. I saw the type of engine, the type of roar. I've worked, as you know, in auto repair. So I bought something I could afford. Something I wanted. Something I dreamed of. So a lot of people who do this, it works out for them. But others who buy just to show off, those end up getting screwed. That's the difference. It's the same thing. For some, it works. For others, it doesn't. Why? Because they don't plan. For example, bro, say you're thinking like this. You guys know I have a Vectra, right? It's a 99, model year 99. And see how everything is connected. It's a car that if you buy today, it's cheap, right? If you look for one that's a bit more worn out, with faded paint, buttons already a bit tired, you can get it for as low as 8,000 reais. You have to remember, man, 8,000 reais, so it's really cheap. I'm going to buy it. But don't forget, even though it's lost value, it's still a mid-size sedan. So it's still going to have the maintenance cost of a mid-size sedan. And that's why a lot of people get screwed, because they buy it. But it's cheap, but it's a mid-size sedan. When you're going to buy anything, my brothers, you save up, for example, I'm going to save up 150,000 reais, then a whole bunch of things in that price range will come up, right? But among those things, there are many that belong to higher categories. They're sitting there devalued, sometimes because they have some defect or because parts are hard to find. So the guy buys it and he gets screwed. You see that a lot too with a lot of people. When they go to buy, they go with this logic. No, I wouldn't buy those old used cars and so on. I'm going to buy a new one. So he has 20,000. He gets a loan. He gives that as a down payment, which basically disappears. And then he's left with those huge installments. Then he thinks, well, but if I work, I can pay for it. But he doesn't account for unexpected expenses. And when all 4 tires are worn out, will you be able to buy 4 new tires? And if by any chance on these beautiful streets we have here, you hit a pothole, will you be able to afford to fix your car's suspension? So look, the same vehicle, a 1-liter economy car, for you to work with for your daily hustle. For some, it works out, and for others, it's a real disaster. Why? Because this one planned, calculated for unexpected expenses, and thought, man, if I buy it like this, if I save a little more, if I don't finance it, if something unexpected happens like that, I can fix it. Because, my brother, many times, even without you causing it. When Molusco changed the fuel, when they contaminated our fuel, I had problems with the injection system in my cars. Now imagine if I had a loan hanging over me. If I had installments, right? I don't know, for some repair work I put on my credit card, how would I be able to replace the system? So a man like the one you saw, he's the epitome of that kind of crazy guy. No, if he gets it in his head, he'll go and do it. That's how you get yourself in trouble. Me, for example, I've been planning this trip of mine for years. I still can't tell you 100% what I'm going to do. Why? Because right now it depends on changing my sister's medication. She takes a strong medication, man, Just so you have an idea, the dose costs 80,000 reais. There's no way to buy it. It's provided by the public health system. So then some people will say, but Davi, see, Seuss is actually good. Look, my brothers, what I'm saying is that we pay a lot of money for bad service. She was fortunate enough to get it, but thousands of others didn't. In fact, now she has to change this medication. And right now, she has no medication. You and I keep paying. And the government isn't giving anything. It's giving back very little of the thousands of dollars, right? Of Reais that eventually turn to dollars because that's the international currency. But these billions that it gets from the people or someone else manages to get a little something. But in general, everyone pays to get very little in return. So one thing doesn't cancel out the other. I really set the record straight, Because I could, just say, oh, but thank God for sus number. Because I know how much each Brazilian is paying and what they're getting in return. And if you do the math, it's not worth it. So, my brothers, when you're planning, to leave the country, I saw a guy making a video, okay? About 2 or 3 months ago, I saw a video very similar to this one. And it was basically that. And it was about the United States. And the guy was saying it was terrible, that the people there were very cold, that he didn't know how to speak the language properly, and people didn't have patience with him. I mean, the guy travels to the United States, and in Paraguay, it's not much different, right? But the guy traveled to the United States and was saying that the country was terrible, that the people were very cold, and so on. He didn't even bother to learn the language. So imagine the guy goes there to talk to someone, and the person there is supposed to understand what you're saying. You can't even express yourself. Do you think that man we just saw, that Patriot, right? Does he speak Spanish?
He might be able to speak it, but I think it's very unlikely.
Really? Do you think a guy like that actually became a professional in any field? And did he get in touch with anyone? For example, our dear brother.
Felipe, right? Felipe Martins. Yeah, he's going there. He already has a job lined up.
Because the guy did everything right. First, he joined groups, he talked to people, he went there. You get it?
Another brother of ours, pretty well known, right?
From the channel Os Insurgentes.
He's already been there, already visited. He's going again to take another look. You travel a lot, right? To the coast.
To visit relatives in another state. But don't go looking for a job like that. Paraguay is terrible for someone looking for a formal job. If you want to live off a formal job, stay here, man.
Over there is for the guy who says, man, I've been working for 10 years, I've been working for 20 years. I'm still in the same place. I can't stop renting. I don't have a car. I don't have a house. Man, I'm going to take my severance pay and I want to invest in something. I'm going to put the money to work. I'm going to make it happen. Paraguay is great for those who want to start a business. But for the guy who says, no, I'm really good at washing dishes, it's an honorable profession. But there are already thousands there wanting to wash dishes. So if you go after that, you'll be competing with them. And you'll lose. It's so simple to understand, my brother. Such an obvious thing, right? But the guy makes a real fuss about it.
So, all I can do is feel sorry, right?
And leave this video here as an example for all of us, my brother. If you're planning something, do it right. If there's one thing Silvio Santos said when you're about to start a business, whatever it is, anything you dedicate yourself to in life, if it seems easy, review it. Because if it's easy, it's because you didn't account for the ups and downs properly. You didn't do the calculations right. If you review it and it still seems easy, then you should find someone else to do that review. Because you don't know how to do it. Nothing is easy, my brother. At the gym, I remember
When I started, my trainer asked,
which exercise do you like the most? And I said, arms, biceps. Then he said, that's it. That's the one you're doing with too little weight. And then I say, no, coach, I'm doing what I can. He said,
if you were really pushing yourself to the limit, like everyone says, they'd all feel equally hard. There's no better or worse. If you're doing it with a maximum load, the one that, pushes your limit, that makes you shake like this, they all feel hard.
Nothing is easy, my brother. Even your birth came with pain and crying. In this life, it's all because it was God's will. Adam sinned, and from then on, we would live by the sweat of our brow, struggling.
if someone is doing that, they're going against the order of the Creator himself. And it's going to end badly. So, my brothers, I hope I was able to help. Leave a big like, share, and don't give up on your dreams. Do things realistically. Search once. It seems easy. You made a mistake. Search again. Research. Go deeper. Talk to someone else. Now, don't give up on your goals. All right? God bless. Hugs. And we're in this together. Foo!